Good evening, my friends. Glad to see you. Oh, I have already many likes. Good for me. It's so nice to see you on Sunday evening here with me. And our today's topic is the continuation of the previous one, but we are more concentrated on the idea of the splendid opportunities which uncertainty can bring to us. It can sound a bit even ridiculous in the beginning because who voluntarily likes uncertainty? If you haven't read Carl Jung, or if you are not deep into psychology, certainly any feeling of uncertainty is uncomfortable, and we have talked a lot about it. So please say hello, everyone who has joined us. So all of you who are new today, who will listen to this stream, watch it, please, if you're interested in the beginning, go back to our first stream. Why does everyone need psychology? You can find it in my channel so easily, I hope. So, and we can go on with our discussion. I'm waiting for some greetings of those who have joined me here. Yes, and I see the first desirable person, Marina, is always welcome and a very honorable guest here. Yes, okay, I see all of you, and Helen, you're also here. Good evening to everyone. So meanwhile, we have Russian guests. Maybe we will see some other guests from other cities, from other countries. So, and for those who will be new for us, here, yeah, Marina, welcome. Here we are speaking English. Most of current guests speak English. Hello, Natasha. Very nice to see you. So we have here also the other country. It's Germany now has joined us. So all of you who are here right now, Ludmila, hello. Nice to see you. For them, English is the second language. I hope that in some time, English-speaking people will also join us, but it doesn't matter. The language of communication is English, and every time I will say that nobody should be ashamed of making mistakes. Anastasia, hello. Here we are not learning English, though we are in a way, but mostly we are concentrated on psychology and philosophy, and the mistakes, grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes, they do not matter now. How do you like my haircut, by the way? Have you noticed that I changed my hairstyle a little? So today the sound is good, I hope, because last time I didn't like some moments. So, and today we will have more comfortable atmosphere. So, and to go into the topic, to jump into it. So tell me, first of all, what we learned about some uncertainty last time. Because in order to find out the splendid opportunities, we need to come back a little and to formulate it. Thank you, Marina. I hope. Good evening, Sergey. Good evening. So nice to see you. I hope you will also soon speak English, because I know that we will have a little group. All those who have friends who do not speak English but want very much, I remind you that I'm gathering an Instagram group at very moderate and modest price. We have already some people, just a few lack. So you can recommend to join us. I will teach them personally. So that is why you can recommend it. And if they want to economize, but to get a very high quality service, teaching, so they're welcome to join us. So thank you for your compliments. Yes, yeah, and you look, yeah. I'm also changing. We see, we are speaking about changes, and I decided I need to change something in my looks as well, because I got tired a little of long hair. I know it's very feminine and it's good when a lady has long hair, but it shouldn't be necessarily only like that. We should change this and that, experiment, and I have decided to do it, and here I am. So, okay, our arranging steps are over. People will join us more. We will greet them certainly. Again, I will ask one of you, Marina, you will be today, please, my assistant, if you don't mind. If anybody writes anything in Russian, just answer them and direct them to our Tuesday's stream, which will be in Russian. So now, before we proceed, by the end of the last stream, we underlined two main factors which push us to accept the uncertainty as something negative and something painful, something dangerous. So we said them distinctly. I outlined them in the end. Maybe you can help me. What were those factors? I have noticed that your reaction comes a bit later, so it's necessary to wait a couple of seconds, but we have an hour and we're not in a hurry. So please. Oh, I have more likes than visitors. It's fantastic. Yeah, surprising. So please, girls, boys, gentlemen, and ladies, please. Oh, you're so funny and so cute. So the main factors which create this negative attitude to the uncertainty. You don't remember, do you? A week has passed. Too many events, too many things to remember. Okay, I'm giving you a hint. One of them is, we can call it biological or evolutionary. Yeah. The second one is social, so to say. Social means connected with the culture. I cannot say more because then I will answer the question. Okay, I will wait just a minute. If you cannot, then I will certainly repeat it because otherwise we can't proceed. So we have here already 3 countries, and I love this fact because such time of communication necessarily should be international. No answer. Why is it so? Okay, so maybe you are either distracted or are not focused, or maybe you have some other thoughts. So I will bring it up to refresh it and go further. So we talked for a while last time about the biological or evolutionary factor that influence the development of our psyche, of our brain, of our physiology, the factor which protected us from the wild environment through which we went during many years, centuries, thousands of years while we were evolutionizing. So it was really hard because we lived in jungles, we lived in wilderness, and certainly this instinct, let's call it instinct, to be ready, to be alert in the circumstances when there is a potential danger, potential peril for us. So we should become more concentrated, more focused. And this is the thing our brain does, because this quality is hardwired. Do you know the term hardwired in our brain? Yeah. So it is programmed. We get it genetically, and still we get it. We live in the society. We live in relatively peaceful world, but still every child who is born, every baby gets in his brain these mechanisms which is hardwired. So it means that whenever a new circumstance comes up, the reaction is alertness. So expectation of some kind of a danger or some peril. So this is what our evolution has brought to us, but we have mentioned the fact that we shouldn't necessarily keep it and shouldn't necessarily rely on it. Otherwise, we will be afraid of any new step because we are not in the wilderness and jungle anymore. We can be in social jungle, yeah, it can be so, but the nature which surrounds us, it's not dangerous anymore. So we shouldn't be so strongly tensed and alert if we see something new. So this is the first factor. The second factor is connected with our upbringing and this mother caring. Our mothers could be overprotective, protective. There is a term in psychology, overprotecting parents. The parents who are afraid of everything, who do not let their child make a step without worries, without nagging, without, I don't know, anxiety. So every time they stop a child and they say, no, 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 God forbid, don't go there alone, don't do it. So they protect their children immensely. And in this way, unfortunately, they create already not hardwired structure, but something which is obtained through upbringing, through this imposing of upbringing and ideas that the new step should be necessarily dangerous. It's false information. Everyone who joins us, please say hello. Uh, Somehow mark that you are here, because it's our pleasure to stay in touch and to communicate with each other. So, is it clear? Tell me, please. Is it clear? Can we go on? Because today we should reach this notion of splendid opportunities, which I want you to use the way I do in your daily life tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and the rest of your life. To have those splendid opportunities and to have many chances of living your life through the way you want, the way you dream. And even if the life or your expectations let you down, you can still be strong and you can still go through any circumstances, not losing your own self. Yeah, Tim, hello, good evening, nice to see you. So tell me, all of you, please, is it clear what we have mentioned? Irina, hello. Yeah, yes, clear. Okay, so now we can proceed to the other factors which create this discomfort of uncertainty. And now we are talking about psychology, purely psychology, not science, not not evolution, but psychology. Just imagine yourself growing up, acquiring new knowledge, new skills, new understanding of the world you are in. And this estimation of your parents, teachers, and everyone who surrounds you, those people who say it's good, it's bad. You're good at it and you're wrong, you're bad at that. So every child who goes through this growth, through the beginning of understanding who he is, because up to a certain age, A child doesn't differentiate himself from his mother, from his family. So for him, if we speak about, let's say, standard family, everything that parents say is the last resort, the truth of last resort. So I hope that you understand me, that you understand this term. So, and mostly if the child is not psychopathic, we're speaking about healthy people. Each of us wanted and still wants to be good. Simple formula, but it has such a depth in it. Due to that desire to be good, very often we become different people, not the people who we were intended to be. Why? Any ideas? Why playing this game? I'm good. Mommy, I'm good. I'm a good girl. I'm a good boy. Then I'm a good student. Then I'm a good citizen. Then, oh, you know, darling, I am a good wife, or I'm a good husband, I'm a good parent. Why this game, no matter that it sounds not so bad, because why not to live in the surrounding of good, wonderful people? This is a dream of everyone. But why such kind of game steals us from us? What do we do with ourselves, proving all our life that we are good and hiding any desire, any emotion, any action which we have made from, first of all, from us and from all the world, just not to let anyone think that we are bad? Why are we so afraid of being bad guys? Why is it instructed so deeply in us? Why, no matter if we're religious, we believe in God, or we follow this or that religion, or we are materialistic, why each of us, if we are not psychopaths, when we make something not very good, when we make a mistake, I mean emotional mistake, a mistake in attitude to someone, why do we have this feeling, oh, I will be punished? Who told us that? Do you know that there is nobody to punish? I don't mean some crimes or some violation of the law or legal system. I mean, nobody can punish us for our action, even if we really do something wrong. To spoil relation, you mean probably to spoil, to disappoint, maybe, Helen, not to spoil, but to disappoint our mother, our dearest mother, who is the first judge of the universe. How can I be a bad boy till I am 14? At 14, I will show the world who I really am. And this is the healthy development, by the way. This period of teenaging, we typically should demonstrate for having a prize. Yeah, you mean to get the prize. They want to get a prize. Yeah, this is also the big drawback of upbringing. Yeah, just I will give you the prize, or I will give you the compliment only if you are good. So this is the lack of unconditional love, which should be typical for the parenting. It doesn't mean that we should let our children do whatever they want. We should show them what is good and what is bad. But they shouldn't, and we shouldn't have built up this system of perceiving of the world as something which will reward us if we do something good, and will punish us if we do something wrong. This is not the right relation to that. We ourselves can only punish us. Certainly, we can spoil relations if we do something outrageously wrong. But it's still a question, what kind of relation is that? Because if just one little mistake can spoil the relation, this is not the relation. It's just something superficial, very light-minded. Because when we have deep relations, no matter business-like or partnership or love or family, we are all human beings and nobody is perfect. And our partner is the real partner only when he understands that we can commit mistakes. Certainly, we feel sorry for them, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that we have no right of committing mistakes, because we are human beings, and through mistakes we learn, as we know. So, what else? Any other options? Why this program, this fear of being not good, can ruin so many opportunities in our life? Don't be listless, please. You are probably tired after the weekend relaxation. Mhm. Yeah, so many people think Tim is right, that they need the perfection. Yeah, only if I'm perfect, if everyone says, "Oh, you're so good, you're great, you're brilliant at it," only then I will do it. But certainly, we are adult enough here to understand that when you start something new, you cannot be a perfection. You are more ridiculous than standard, and through this awkwardness, maybe, perhaps, you will get some skills, and then who knows, maybe you will even reach the perfection, but you never know. You cannot start just with the guarantee that, okay, I will try 10 times and then I'm perfect. Yes, absolutely. This is the part of perfectionism which is crucial, which destroys the personality, which makes the person grow old very soon, because the aging of perfectionists closes more and more the doors, because the perfectionist can be at the same time a bit adventurous, but the side of this adventurousness can be lost with years and with disappointments. Perfectionism is not so bad for other people, it's bad for the person who has it. And with every year, the perfectionist has more and more disappointments. And one day, he or she says, I'm not going to try anymore because I'm tired. I'm tired of being disappointed in myself, of disappointing other people. So it's better to stay where you are, where I am, and not to go further because I'm not good. Yes, cliche in our mind. Yes, Marina. Oh, Elena. Yes, you're right. We have certain rules. Who created those rules, Helen? Who created the rules which we think that they are ours? I don't mean the rules of the company where we work, the rules of the session which you have with your teacher or with the psychologist, or the courses where you go, or university. Certainly, each establishment should have the rules. I mean, the rules of your life, rules for life, about which Jordan Peterson has written. Yes, absolutely, Marina, right. Yes, Helen, thank you for being sincere. That's it, the proper answer. Our parents created Marina's rights, and she's absolutely right. This is the job of the parents. We are not here to judge our parents, let them be the way they are, but Maybe they wanted, and most probably, highly likely, that they wanted the best for us. But they created this very high bar of expectations from us. They wanted their child to be the most talented, the most genius, the most brilliant in the world. And this is the biggest burden that the parents can give to their child, to be a champion, to be the star, to be popular. And if not, you are a failure. What are you living for? You cannot be just an ordinary person who enjoys every day of the life, who enjoys walking in the forest, who enjoys walking out the dog, who can lead a simple, plain family life. If you are not the achiever, if you are not the winner, if you are not the pioneer, you are nothing. Certainly, I'm exaggerating. I can imagine few parents who say it directly, but it's even worse when we get this information indirectly with the actions and with the attitudes. And then it becomes the way Helen has written that, where is it? Where is the line? We have, no. It's somewhere lower. Yes, we become afraid of being judged and that people can think that we are strange. This is the key point. We are not afraid of life, but we are afraid of the judgment, that there is somebody who will say, you're not good, you are a bad person, you have low morals, or something like that. You are a bad father, you are a bad mother. How did you bring up your child? Says somebody. It's none of your business. This is my child. I can listen to some wise advice. I can take the recommendations. I can consult a psychologist. I can read many books. But this is my family. This is my territory. And it's none of your business if I do it right or wrong. But we want to show the society, the neighbors, the relatives, all the world that we are the best fathers, best mothers, best sisters. And where are we then? Because all our life is a performance, is a play where we play not the major role, by the way. And this is a pitiful situation. So that is why these programs, these mindsets, which were induced that we should only be good, never wrong, never bad, never weak, boys never cry. You remember that? This cliche through which many men become absolutely destroyed by 40 just because they heard everywhere boys shouldn't cry. But there are sensitive boys with special nervous system. There is such a type of the nervous system which is called hypersensitive. This is a category in psychology, hypersensitive people. There are many films about that. And every psychologist knows that if the client is hypersensitive, he will react differently. And it will cost him a bunch of efforts to hide his sensitivity. And now imagine a boy who was told by his parents, you shouldn't cry. If you cry, you're not a man. You are just a sissy. Do you know the word sissy? Yeah, it's the insulting word for a man when we want to say that he's like a woman. So in English, this word is quite rude, by the way. It's not taboo, but it's not a pleasant word. So any man can be offended when he's called sissy. Yeah. So if the boy is called sissy because you cry, because you shed your tears, so what will this young man have in his brain? if he has a period of depression or a period when he feels vulnerable, weak, which is typical for every person from time to time to be weak, to be disappointed in himself, in herself. It's also ups and downs of our psyche. But such a person will know. Do you know, I will write you this word, probably you don't know. It looks like that, because it is spelled in one way, but we pronounce it differently. So look at it. We read, oh, Svetlana, my namesake, my favorite girl. So this word is read as no. No means to bite inside your soul. Yeah. So in this case, you start biting, you start gnawing your inside for being weak for a short period of time. So such upbringing, and maybe this father who commented it wanted the best. He wanted a real soldier, he wanted a real athlete, he wanted somebody who will be strong. And this desire is quite good, but all depends on the method. If the boys were punished for crying, for being sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes being weak, and the girls the same, certainly these children, when they become adults, and all of us who had such moments in our childhood, we pay for that. We pay for that with years and years of our lost life. We pay with aging, with coming across the situations which can swallow us just because we don't know what to do. We're so afraid of being bad, of being one day bad or 1 year bad, that we never know ourselves. So this is the key point, that we are so much afraid of being bad. Now, my friends, tell me, do I encourage you to become bad people? How do you understand my statements? I have said that it's a bad thing if we require, if we demand from ourselves to be always good. Does it mean that I want you to be bad? Yes, Helen, consequences of the Soviet system, and not only. Soviet system was the harsh one, absolutely, because the system tried to grow up soldiers, people who are not concentrated on self-development, but just people who want to do everything for the socialistic society. But it's not the society, Tim. Again, you rely too much on the society. This is the family. When the family can protect a child, society doesn't influence the psyche. Certainly, we are interdependent. We live in the real world, but only the family, only significant others, because all these programs go inside the psyche before 9. And most strongly before 5, before we are 5 years old. Yeah, society doesn't play its role. Certainly we go, and I went to the kindergarten as all Soviet children. Yes, and certainly I had my good memories, wonderful memories, and bad memories. I remember that the only time I was beaten was in the kindergarten, because I was quite a naughty girl. And during lunch sleep, I didn't want to sleep, and I interacted with other children. So I was kind of an initiator of those talks there. You see, even then I could speak a lot. The nurse, she beat me. She slapped me on my low back. And for me, it was a new experience, because my parents hadn't ever beaten me. So I got my experience from the kindergarten. Though, along with that, I had fantastic experience as well there, because I developed so many interesting skills just being in this kindergarten. So certainly the system influences, but this is not the root. This society is not the root. Family, Family is more important than society, because a baby is growing up in the family, first of all. We should ourselves and blow. Yes, and follow, yes, Marina, follow our own desires. But as you remember, very often we don't know, we forgot about our desires because we try to stick to the system, again, to the system of the society. Then, Tim, you are right in the following, that then trying to be a good child, we certainly see as a target to be a good citizen. And by the way, I see nothing bad in loving your country and in being patriotic, but not idealistically patriotic when you don't see the negative sides. So to love your motherland, I think it's a fantastic feeling, very important for a human being of the 21st century to belong to the land you were born. But certainly you can change the country, you can travel all over the world, and you can immigrate to the other country which suits you more. We are not, let's say, condemned or somehow, what is the word here? Framed into the system forever. But it's a very nice feeling to have the connection with the territory and people and language and your nationality. But if the upbringing was strict, harsh, aimed only at achievements and nothing else, if there were very few intimate talks about love, about stars, about rules of life and rules for life, in a very, let's say, tender manner, in the manner of dealing, sharing with a child the world the parent has, and only rules, certainly the person goes in the same way to the world and to the society, and he becomes a servant, he becomes somebody who follows the rules, he listens to his boss all the time, and for him to look good, to look bad in the eyes of somebody who is superior, it's the end of the world. Yes, yes, yes. So certainly you got me right, and I did it on purpose to provoke your communication a little. Certainly you can guess that I do not encourage you to become bad people, but I encourage you sometimes to try to do something which can be bad. Why not to try? Why not to know this part of life? But certainly with after thinking, with responsibility. I mean, something you want, but maybe it's not so good from the standard point of view of the society. So I'm going right now to a very subtle boundary, but it's up to you. If you are adults, you can try something which is not accepted by the society or by your neighbors or by your parents. But if you want to try it, why not? Why not to live your life? Because even if it's bad for you, you will understand it and you will correct it. But you know, I read it in Jordan Peterson's books and in many others, and I accept it completely. By the end of somebody's life, do you know what people regret the most? Do you have any idea? Those who listened to Jordan Peterson, maybe you know, the deepest regret when you're old, when you're 60, 70, and you understand that your life is going to the end, and okay, let us live 100 years if you want. I don't. I think that 60 years will be enough for me. That is why I'm saying that. If you want to live 90, 100, just it's up to you. You can do it. So when you're going to this old age, what can be your biggest regret? Yes, Anastasia, I know that you have read Jordan Peterson, and once again, I want to tell you my heartiest thanks for our English club because you were brilliant. So I'm proud that you were my student, and I'm proud that you are now my colleague because I haven't ever spoken with anyone who knew, I mean, in Russia, in Russian speaking, Nastya is not from Russia, those who speak Russian, because English people, they know Jordan Peterson quite well, but Nastya now is an expert, and I was very proud of it because I remember when, for the first time, I mentioned Jordan Peterson. Okay, Nastya always respected my opinion, and she said, "Yeah, okay. If you say that it's interesting, I will do it." And for some period of time, I didn't see any reaction. But the way she communicated with me last Thursday, by the way, you can find it in Instagram, this meeting recorded, and the way Nastya spoke about it, like a real expert. So Jordan Peterson wrote about it, and not only him. This is the statistics. There was a poll among aging people who understand that they are facing the last part of their life. And the main question, what is your deepest regret? Was not that they did something wrong or they found the wrong partner or they created too early the family or didn't create the family, not the fact that they spent most of his life in the family or rejected the family or didn't go to this job or that job. No, nothing of the kind. Most of those people said in different words one and the same phrase: I regret that I didn't take risks. When I was offered this opportunity or that opportunity, I was so afraid of losing my stability that I regret that I didn't try it. And now I still don't know the outcome. It could be a failure, but it could be the new turn in my life which would have brought me to the highest level of my development. So that is why we shouldn't be afraid of doing sometimes bad things in the brackets, bad. Not to do something bad to the other people, certainly, but something which is not accepted by society or something which provokes, what is the word, criticism or reproaching among moralists. So, by the way, moralist is the most dangerous person from the point of view of psychology. So, that is why, in a way, I encourage you sometimes to be bad boys and bad girls, but remembering one thing, you are the only one who is responsible for that. So if you get into a mess, remember that you will be the one who will try to get out of it. The savior, the God will not come to save you from there. You should know the consequences. And if they are worth it, don't hesitate. Do it. Try it. Yes. Yes, Irene, exactly. We very often don't do what we want just because we are afraid of being bad. Yeah. Mhm. You cannot know, Tim. I'm not trying to attack your parents because these things happen when we don't know, we don't remember it. Because if you have fear of starting something new, it's inside your psyche, and your psyche was growing up from your age up to 5. And who were those people who provoked this fear of starting something new? It should be traced. And maybe it's not so important now to blame someone. We are not here to blame our parents or blame the system or blame something. This is not the target. It can help sometimes when we feel guilty, because many of you, and I was also like that once, we feel guilty, we feel this, we blame ourselves for something when we lose the opportunities, when we are afraid, but we shouldn't. We should trace where is the root and understand that we are not responsible for something we did or understood when we were 5. Because what we got from there, this is a complete responsibility of our parents, of the educators, of the nurses, of grandmothers and fathers, all those who gave their remarks to this very quickly growing conscience of the child, which is building up the first neuron connections and build in those formulas which can become slogans and motives for the rest of our life. So our parents certainly have something to do with it. Our parents are not perfect. They are human beings. And also they had this right to make their mistakes. We're not here to judge them, but we should understand that parents are parents. So there should be a separation from the parents. If we're closely connected with our parents, unfortunately, we don't live our life, because parents are for, let's say, celebrations, for certain events of the family, for common holidays once a year. It's wonderful, it's great. But after the age of 21, and better after 16, each person should have his own life. Yeah, and it's not the life of the parents. Parents should be respected. It's good if they are loved, it's wonderful, but they shouldn't be imitated in any way and to be the last resort. And final example, certainly we should admire, and I admire my parents for many things, but it doesn't mean that I wanted ever, by the way, I didn't ever want it, at least consciously, maybe subconsciously I had, but to become, you shouldn't become your parents. You should become better, because each parent, real parent, always wants a better future for his child, not the same. But when we imitate the life of our parent, we have nothing better than their life, and we will repeat all the mistakes and all the faults will be waiting for us. So thus we should develop the independent thinking and understand where is my thought, or where is the thought of my precious mother, who was telling from time this and that. She could be a very highly intellectual woman. Why not? But it doesn't mean that her thoughts, they have a lot to do with my life, because I'm different. Yes, I resemble her in my looks. Certainly, I have some shared interest and values with her, but I'm a different person, because each of us is a unique person, not an imitation. We become imitation only when we follow these inside induced programs, and we never dare to become ourselves. So this is the first point, the desire to be good, the rule to be good, and due to that, loss of our own understanding and desires of something we really, really want. And now I want you to remember, to recall those who have been communicating with me for a long time, and those who are here recently, just to learn this interesting approach and ideas of Carl Jung. Carl Jung is one of the most famous psychologists and scientists of the 20th century, and he was the follower of Sigmund Freud. But at a certain period, they parted because Jung went further. He developed Freudian ideas in his own way because he was highly intellectual person. I cannot say that Freud wasn't intellectual, but Jung, let's confess, he had the broader education and he had more insights. And Freudian ideas were a very good foundation for the development of his own. But basically, his first education was psychiatry. So he was, as Freud, he was a professional doctor. But the first, his medical education was in psychiatry. He was very well-read and philosophically developed person with great intuition. And it allowed him to develop a very deep insight into psychology. And he developed this idea. By the way, all of you have heard these terms, introvert and extrovert. Have you heard those words? That some of you are extroverted, some of you introverted. What does it mean? What does it mean to be extrovert, yeah, and introvert? So these are the terms introduced into official scientific psychology by Carl Jung. And this is one of his introduction, and each student of psychological faculty department learns that it was developed by Jung. But yeah, introvert and communicative. Yeah, extroverts, the person who is fond of communication. No, it's not peace outside. It is connected with the desire of communicating with many people. So when we are extroverted and we are born with a certain type, then we can change. And depending on the life period, extrovert people can become introverted when they want to be detached from all the world for a period of time, and vice versa. Introverted people can step into the stage where they become more communicative and they like more and more social communication. No, it's not love of attention. Love of attention, it's exhibitionism. It's the other point. This is the hysterical temperament. It requires love of attention. Extrovert has nothing to do. By the way, in English, we're speaking English here. If you say that he's extrovert, it's the synonym, exact synonym of the word he's sociable, he's communicative, he's a good mixer. So in English, you can use it easily, not necessarily connected with psychology. Though English people don't know that the origin of this word belongs to Jung, to Carl Jung. But if you go to the United States and talk to this person and that, and you will ask, what kind of person Bill is? And your American interlocutor can say, Bill is very extroverted. And it will be easy with him to talk. So it is not connected with the attention. As a consequence, yes, but it's not important. Attention or not attention. The desire to stay in touch with many people, just to go to the parties, to talk. So extroverted people go through silence, through loneliness in a very hard way. For them, it's not quite comfortable to be alone. They always want to be in the society. Introverted people, just the opposite. They feel more comfortable when they're alone, when they're on their own, even when they have a family. They are very strict with that. They need their space, their time, and I think it's very healthy, by the way, for all of us to have our space and our time, no matter if we want to see many people and stay in touch with them. So in the long run, with age, we should develop both the ability of being extroverted and introverted. But initially, we are one type of those. So this is why, and this is the structure of our nervous system and psyche. This is something we haven't developed, but we were born with. And it's important to know. Because, for example, being a language teacher, I behave differently with extrovert student or introvert student, because to overcome the language barrier, two variants, by the way, a barrier with English, with extroverted person, it's one story. With introverted person, I behave differently because the methods of pushing, they do not work. This person can hate speaking the other language if the teacher doesn't treat him properly. So that is why those of you who teach languages, take it into consideration. Your approaches will be different depending on the type of the person, your student you are dealing with. So this is the notion which we should accept from the very beginning. But coming back to Carl Jung, so the main insight which he made, he wrote many books, and they're quite complicated, I should say, even for those who read psychology. But there are other books which can introduce you into Jungian, now we call it Jungian psychology. What is important, what does it have to do with our today's topic? It was Jung who observed the structure of the psychology, of the psyche of the person through different layers, and he differentiated the social mask and the ego and the shadow. Have you ever heard these words in connection with the psychology? I repeat once again. So each of us has ego. Each of us has a social mask, and each of us has a shadow. What can it mean? Even if you have no idea, just try to guess. What is it about? Yes, Anastasia, absolutely right. This is the first sign of introvert. This person likes to spend more time with himself, being alone, doing his own things, than with other people. It doesn't mean that he dislikes staying with other people. It depends on his life, on his habits, on the events through which he's going. Any of us being extremely extroverted one day can say, I don't want to see anybody. I just want to be on my own. And vice versa. Even those who are introverted can say, oh, I love those friends of mine so much. I want to see them daily. I miss them. But this is the initial structure. Yeah, either you prefer to be alone most of the time, or you want to be in the society. And this is the only criteria, by the way. Not quite, Anastasia, but close. It's not our feeling of being proud. Ego, this is something, let's say ego is the same as self. Something we are really, and something which is hidden behind the social mask. Play? Irene, what do you mean play? About different roles. I haven't seen the previous one. Yes, right, you are. About different roles we play. Yeah, exactly, not play, but we bear, let's say. We are carrying with us. So ego in Jungian understanding, or he called it selfness also, selfness. So it's the part in which we really are who we are. So our own desires, our own motives, our own understanding of the world and reaction to the events. This is what is called selfness, yeah, or ego. And it's unique and cannot be repeated. We need to wear social mask, and for some situations it's absolutely necessary, and we have talked about this already, that without social mask we become quite antisocial, and this is the way to schizophrenia. If we don't have any social skills, it's quite dangerous. So in each strata of the society and layer of the society, if we are developed human beings, we behave differently. Conversation in the kitchen and conversation at the party are two different stories. And it's good to be socially developed, to know how to behave at the, I don't know, at the theater, at the opera house, to have good manners. It's always an advantage. It's nothing bad in that. But what is the trouble here with this? Why did Jung call it social mask? And why did he write so much about that? Warning us people about the danger of it. What is the danger? Why not to be just a social person? In my office, I behave like that. At home, I'm relaxed and I have a good family and I am natural. If I go to some official party, I will know all the etiquette and I will follow it, and I will be a diplomat. What is bad in that? Yes. Yes, Marina. So if we play the social roles, yes, again, Irina, yes, we want to be good. The motive is the same. And can you imagine if we were brought up in this direction? You should be good, be a good boy, be a good girl, be an excellent student, be the best hardworking person in your factory or at your enterprise, be always diligent, punctual, accurate. This is the quality you should be proud of. And if we have only this framework, this structure, and we wear this social mask, so we're nice, we're so nice. This idea is much criticized right now, and criticized by Jordan Peterson very much, and by English-speaking society, that it is called people-pleasing attitude. People-pleasing attitude. When we're always nice, when we never say what we really want, when we cannot say no, because we're afraid that the moment we say no, the person will be disappointed. Yeah, but I don't want to have such friends. If I say no, sorry, my dear, I can't today, and my friend starts disliking me just because I can't today, it's not friendship. Yes, I can say, please, I beg you, I need it today, do it, please. But if my friend says, I can't, you see, I can't, I really can't. Okay, it's your decision. You are doing it not because you don't want to help me or to be with me, just because you can't. The same with me. We can agree about this, that this day we will do this and that, but for some reasons, I can't. And I don't want to be taken as a disappointment just because I say no. The same I do to my friends and to all people I'm surrounded by. I accept no, even if it's sometimes sad, sometimes upsetting, sometimes I really can be, okay, not angry, but sad because of that. But it's not because I become angry with the person or disappoint in the person, just because I really need it, I really wanted it. So these are the rules of adults. So, but when we are people pleasing and we are always smiling only, and we can never protect our boundaries or have them, then we are only social masks. And this is the tragedy. Yes, Irina, very good that you wrote. Again, we want to be good. Yeah, very wise idea. Yes, we don't feel we never, Helen, it's more than that. We never feel comfortable because we continue playing the social role even with those people with whom we are meant to be intimate, with our partners, I mean husbands and wives, with our children. We forget about our own desires and our own motivations. The only motivation is to be good at this and that. And comfort disappears, the harmony, the selfness, our ego is dissolved. Do you know the word dissolved? Mixed in this social mask, and there is no Helen anymore, or no Anastasia, or no Ilona. It's just a social mask, which, better to say, in this case, is polite, is nice, is clever, is with many regards and rewards by the society. But there is no Ilona anymore, because social mask has become Ilona. Yes. And this is assessment. Tim, you're so connected with the word social. Everything which you have, you direct to this stream, that society and social. Yeah. You're afraid of something inside, I think. Yeah, but social assessment, yes. But we, Tim, we become afraid of social assessment when we were afraid of family assessment or teachers assessment. This is proved. If we are not afraid to be judged by our own parents, if we are not afraid of disappointing them, we will never be afraid of social assessment. We become free of those chains, of those curves of the society. Certainly, we like achievements, and it's not bad. We like to be praised. We like to be rewarded. Why not? But it's not the only target. So, my dear friends, I don't want to extend it for longer, because we have to wind up. I don't want you to keep you, because we're here for a long time, I hope. And I hope that you will join me every time, or as many times as you can. So we have come to the most interesting point, by the way. And it will be a good motive for you to come back. So the salvation, the freedom of the social mask is hidden where? In which part of our psyche from the Jungian perspective? There are many points of view, certainly, but if we have started talking about very valuable, profound, and unsurpassed, I would say, opinion of Carl Jung, who was popular, who has becoming more and more popular with each year, because I'm following the tendencies. And the more events happen in our social and everyday life, in different societies, more popular Jung becomes. So where is the salvation? Not to be stuck to the mask, to the social mask of good behavior, good rules, righteousness. In English, it is called righteousness. I'm so right. I have high morals. I will never do anything good. Oh my God, how could you think of it? I'm just the sample of righteousness. I believe in God. I believe that people are good. People were born good. Nonsense. People were not born good. People are different. Among us, there are many wicked people. Wicked. There are many psychopaths and people which we should not be afraid of, but should be protected against. About it, we will talk on Tuesday, because we will speak about boundaries, how to enlarge, extend our boundaries, but not to let in the abuse and the abuser, because it can happen simultaneously. So answer this question, please. This is the last question of mine. Where is the potential of salvation? Who was attentive when I mentioned the structure? Yeah, but you're right, Irene, to be yourself. But how to be yourself if all your life you were trained to follow the rules, to follow the society? Oh, Nastinka, you make me happy one more day. So in the shadow, and this is a very tricky notion and very mysterious. Very many subtle things are there. One word is wrong and we are in the abyss. So it's quite a dangerous notion, but we will be risky. We will dare, we will be brave, and we will talk about our shadow. Shadow is the part of ourselves which we don't want to meet. We don't want to know. This is something which Freud called unconscious mind, something which neuroscience called the lower part of our brain, where all our animalistic instincts and animal behavior is inwired. So something which we don't want to accept in ourselves, because our aggression, our animalistic desires, so many things which we can hardly imagine about ourselves. We are so good. We are human beings. We are so high in development. And we cannot accept the fact that the part of our brain belongs to the animal world, where aggression, desire to take, desire to submit, the weaker, the one who is weaker, all that lives, all those factors, they live in us. And we cannot get rid of them just saying that they do not exist. But this is not the reason why I'm going to talk about our shadow for the next stream, or maybe even two. This is not the reason, because we are not here to investigate our animalistic side, our monkey mind. We're here to understand one more important, relevant thing, which Carl Jung also described. The potential of the talent and uniqueness and real nature also is hidden in the shadow. So the shadow is ambivalent. It's quite dangerous and something we are really afraid of. So to say devil in ourselves. So meet the devil and you will become stronger. Our power, our strength, our determination, all those qualities, they lie there in the shadow. And one more famous phrase of Carl Jung: the best opportunity, the best quality, which is unique for you, will be hidden at the point where you don't want to look at. And it means that the sides of your character of which you are mostly ashamed and you don't want to accept even to yourself, not mentioning the fact that share them with someone. Oh my God, what will people think who I am if I tell them something which is my quality, but I'm so ashamed of it, my God. I pray God every day, why do I have this quality? I try to eliminate it, to struggle with it. But exactly in this quality, there is something which will lead me, if I'm courageous, if I'm a brave person, this will lead me to the peak of my life and the most important events which I can face. So about the shadow, about this opportunity of meeting, so to say, getting acquainted with our shadow and in which way we should be quite protective, not to fall into animalistic desires and to lose ourselves completely. So we will talk about it next time. You can accompany this stream with your questions. You can write them in the comments. You are mostly welcome with them, and any comments. They can be questions, they can be some insights which you got probably today. Write what new you understood about yourself just listening to our stream. And if it was helpful to you, not only from the point of view of your intellectual development and development of your English language, because certainly you listened for an hour to quite fluent speech with which was full of terms, maybe new words and different adjectives. And first of all, it's already some use of you, but it's not something which I'm waiting for. I expect more the information, if it was useful and helpful for you, to introduce it in your everyday life tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, because this is the main target. And our education, English and all other things, certainly they go alongside. So I'm about to say goodbye to you. What about you? Did you enjoy it? Yes. Okay. I'm glad. So if there were some, yes, you're welcome, Helen. If some paragraphs or some moments were hard from the point of view of English, I recommend you to re-listen. And yes, Anastasia, you're welcome. Welcome very much. So those who develop their English skills, you can go back and take the whole parts and listen to them again, because you can pick up many words. And it's just the flow which you can digest easily, I hope. It's not something too complicated, but at the same time quite enriching, because I try to speak the proper language. Yes, you're welcome. So each of you who participated, thank you very much for your active position and for brevity, for fearlessness to share your opinion. Even if our opinions do not coincide, it's the valuable discussion of adult people, of mature people. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday, those who attend my Russian streams. On Thursday this week, I will have here the stream about Jordan Peterson in Russian. For the first time, it will be kind of a lecture, but you're welcome to participate, as many of you as you can. I cannot expect you to come here every day, but I'm obliged to do something about Jordan Peterson in Russian, because I spoke in English a lot, but the English one will also come maybe in a week or two. But on Thursday, I will tell the public about Jordan Peterson, what kind of figure he is and what value this person has brought to the world. So it will be on Thursday. Certainly you will be informed. But on Tuesday, I'm waiting for those who listen to the streams in Russian, and our timetabled scheduled stream when we will speak about shadow and the possibilities and opportunities hidden there. You're welcome, team, and please don't get offended that sometimes I underline some points. It's very important, by the way. I do it with the kind heart and best intentions for you. So we will continue speaking about shadow, and if you comment and write your questions, you're most welcome. Have sweet dreams as usual. You can meet your shadow in your dreams, by the way. Don't be afraid. So sweet dreams. Think a little about your dreams when you wake up, at least for a minute, even if they were not the best ones. Never omit your dreams. It's very important to pay attention to your dreams. And certainly I want to see you here in a cheerful mood with mind-boggling ideas and ready to digest the new information. Bye-bye. All the best.